Okay, so we're back. So yeah, I almost messed up and made that a 2-hour long video. It went to an hour and 6. So for those who are tuning into this and going like, what are you talking about? The last video. So the video that's before this one, we worked on essentially more GUI work on the sentries. We got the power button moved around. We did some slot filtering, stuff like that. This one we're going to work on the targeting system or the targeting buttons, and I almost started working on that in the last video. So this is not going to be too complicated, but what we want to do is go to the Volts engine and we want to add a button. And this is going to be a really simplistic button. It's literally going to be a completely untextured version of the last couple buttons that we made. And that's it. That's literally what we're going to do. So I need to go main, resources, assets, Volts engine, textures, and yeah, I need to go, okay, GUI. I got lost there for a second. I'm like, where's my at? I took wrong turn somewhere. And speaking of which, I also need to get a coaster for my table. I'm completely ruining it with this. Not that it's already ruined, it's got like red stains in it and all kinds of other stuff. Who knows what this table was used for before I got it. Okay, so we need these buttons pretty much. Make sure I select the right ones. C, then we come up here, put these right here. Except we need a new. Actually, do we paste? No, yeah, there's a floating selection point. Did we actually name? Yeah, we did. We made a new tab, so we want to make a new layer. New layer, and this will be called empty. That's what we're going to call this. Because that's literally what we're going to do. So we're gonna take this and we're going to just bucket feed empty it. And that's all I want. I want basically an empty button. Which basically means we're going to have two button sets here. So we'll recycle the this lower button set here of later. And I need to copy you and then bring you over here. And then what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to desaturate you. So color, hue and saturation. You change the saturation, it doesn't do anything. That worked though. So enabled, hover state, disabled. That's all I want. That's literally that simple. And what we're going to do is we're going to call these micro buttons pretty much, and we're going to make a new object for them. Hit file, save, file, export as, export, replace, override. Close this and go down to Volts engine and go to button, and we're going to copy our on-off button, and we're just going to call these GUI, GUI. Just 9 pixel. That's what they basically are. So for this, we need to go up another 8. Well, not 8 pixels. We're just going to go up 9. So 71. So we're going to be using that lower pixel set, and we support disabled, so we're going to have that, and we're done. That's it. Change the date on this. This is 4/23/2017. And I need to fix the date on our on-off button while we're at it too. Don't want to give the illusion that those buttons were made like years ago. These are rather new things. We don't need this, which means we don't need this part. What we'll do is we'll also implement some text rendering for these later, and we'll implement dynamic setting thing. That's going to have to be handled later. The button does, I think, already implement text. There's a display string, and all we gotta do is just duplicate it down here. We gotta set some links and things, and more code needs to be added. Right now, the only thing is I want is a 9-pixel size button. And I'll show you what I want to do with this here in a second. So we're going to do an array of things. We need to determine how many things can we implement on here. And I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for those who wonder why my mouse wasn't moving when I was doing that, I was using my thumb and my screen to kind of get a general idea. So we can put 6 objects on here. So for int I equals 0, I is less than 6, I plus plus. And we're going to just basically display stuff. There's no other way to explain it. We just want to put strings here, and next to them we want to hit toggle buttons. So we need to determine what our length of our string is going to be, because we're going to have to handle that. We're going to need a scroll index. So we're going to do private and scroll. So this will be the scroll for scroll target list equals 0. And we'll have that implemented. And we'll implement code to handle this too, so there'll be buttons for this. So it'll be scroll buttons we'll have to add here. This will be plus and minus buttons. So add button, new GUI button plus, or is it plus? Increment button. And this will be button ID 10. So that's where we're going to recycle our stuff, by the way, as I noted we were going to do. This will be a true, so that's a, yeah, plus, and then we'll put a minus. So what we'll have is probably, I don't want to do this side. Probably this side we'll put the plus and minus buttons. Right now we're not going to really worry where they're at because of the fact that I don't really care. So this will be false, button 11, and then we'll do minus 9. Or no, this needs to be plus 9. And yeah, we can't do hot swap, so it's going to tell us, yeah, you can't hot swap. I got that. Okay. So here's where things are going to get weird, because now we have to add 4 buttons, I think. So yeah, this is going to get weird. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we got to do here. So this is going to be button 20, and this is going to be GUI button 9pix. Button 30, button 40, button 50, plus I. And then plus 9. I'll show you what these are going to be used for in a bit. And yeah, we got hot swap failure, so I need to reload so we get our hot swap. And I'm going to finish off drinking this real quick. That soda was mostly water. I filled the thing with ice cubes, and they all melted. I mean, I guess it should happen, but how quickly it happened is the amazing part. Now, I guess while we're waiting for this, I'm going to go ahead and start implementing some of the action code. So we're on the targeting GUI. Okay, so we have a button ID set. That's what we need to do. So I'm going to go if ID Oh no, we want to go if. Oh, we're gonna. What am I doing? My brain just completely foobarred on me. This is where we want to be. Here's our save button. I'm gonna go else if button ID is greater than or equal to 20 and button ID is less than or equal to or less than 60. Yeah, that's a good gap range. Okay, actually, what we're going to do here is we're going to do a reverse list. So I'm going to go greater than or equal to 50, greater than or equal to 40, greater than or equal to 30, and then greater than or equal to 20. Because we're basically going backwards. So, yep. So this will catch the first list. So if we're greater than 50, we'll get caught here. If not, we're greater than or equal to 40, we get caught here. If not, greater than 30, we get caught here. So if we're 20, we'll go all the way down the bottom. If we're 30, we'll go all the way to here. If we're, say, like 10, which should be caught here, we'll go there. So we don't have to worry about that. And the reason for the huge gaps, by the way, is it just makes life easier. So we'll go int index equals button ID minus 50. And that's what we're going to do each one of these. That's the reason why I've got separation for this. It's easier this way. I've only got to worry about one value. I don't have to make magical code. I don't have to do stupid numbers. It works. So this gets our button index. So this is where we know where our actual index is. So this is our row pretty much. So all these will be row 0, and so on. This is how we're gonna do our packet handling pretty much too. Is we're gonna send tell it what we kind of want to have happen. We have to disable buttons. There's so not an easy way to do this. So this would be GUI button. What do just GUI button too? Target list buttons. Target list buttons. Okay. Equals new GUI button list. So this is always going to be 4. So the second list is always going to be 4. And then this one is going to be 6 basically. We don't sync our packet yet for stuff, so we were going to do this by hand at the moment. This will be target list. So we're going to have to implement a scroll bar. I'll go copy the scroll bar code from InfoS here in a bit. If you saw my other video, I made one for that mod to help improve usability. Why do we... I don't want to know. All of my buttons are smashed up here. They shouldn't actually even be there. Why are they there? Oh, that's why they're there. Derp. What do you mean? But that's considered a schema swap. I hate IntelliJ some days. It's like, oh, that's a schema swap. What you did there? Oh no, it's a schema swap because we put an array up here. I see what I did. I know why I'm stupid today. What the reload? Unfortunate, But oh well. Live, learn, do things, make more code, make more bugs, fix bugs, do more things, make more code. Cycle repeats on and on. I'm out of tea and soda right now. Unfortunate situation I am in. Easy solution there is, and less Yoda quotes there are. That's how you can tell I'm bored. I'm just starting to quote random movies. I still need to do my own little icon right there. So you got that little forge anvil and hammer. I kind of want to do maybe like a missile launch or missile building stage on the left-hand side. And what it'll basically be is that as we get through the initialization stages, you'll see a rocket slowly complete. I'll play around with it. I'll have to see how Forge does theirs. More than likely, I'm going to have to ASM it in, and I think Forge protects their own stuff from ASM. It'd be unfortunate if that is the case. Because I think it would be kind of cute to have a little thing down there. I think a lot of people get entertained by it. I mean, I think it's the whole reason why the Forge anvil is even there, is entertainment. Just a little animation. Bang. At least that doesn't have a sound effects. Imagine if they had audio, it was like be bang, bang, bang. And you just hear that the entire time while your game is loading. And you'd be on like a really, really slow computer and you'd just be hearing that nonstop. And I swear somebody would flip and throw their computer out the window. Okay. Okay, so we got our things up here. They're all up in the corner because we haven't positioned them yet. So we want these to be right here, going down. We also need to get our string value set up too. And we need to increment the y value. So this will be plus I times some value. 14? 14 sounds good. Make sure that actually works first. Okay, so that gets our. Oh yeah, that spacing needs to be decreased by a significant amount. So these are 10 maybe. We'll have to check to see what our text spacing is going to be, and there's a likelihood I'm going to have to decrease the rows if it's not going to work. So these need to come over here. So we need to then do our offset. So we need to come off the top by 14. Or is it minus? I think it's plus. Yeah, that's plus. Okay. And then we need to go over by like 100. 120 more likely. Too far. So 100 was probably right on the first time. We can come over a little bit more, but that'll work. And then we want our scroll buttons. We'll probably put one there and one there. So when it comes to the scroll buttons, we're going to reset, and we're going to do this real quick. And this needs to be plus another 18 times 2, which should be 36. So 100 and I'll say 140 actually, because that'll give it a nice spacing on top of it. Yeah, that looks nice. Then we want to bring this one up by 5, and we want to bring this one all the way to the bottom. So this will be 9. And then this will be plus 50. Oh, it needs to go even further than that? Wow, 60. Wow, that's basically perfect. And what you do is you render a scroll bar between those two, so you can go up and down. And you'll have this, and you'll have text that'll come across here. Hopefully, I don't have to increase the spacing on the text. I don't know how tall the text is, but I have a feeling that I'm going to have to add another couple pixels between these, and I may not have enough space to do it. So also go is we need to calculate a number of rows. Actually, we'll use the targeting list as for our number of rows. And what we want to do is we just want to draw random strings pretty much. Yeah, and then 12 plus I times, what was 12 is what we're doing the spacing is? Well, that is now our spacing because that's, oh no, we can make that smaller. We can probably get down to that. Cutting it close. So we need to bring it down by 3 pixels. I need to draw a background behind each one of these. So we're going to have to do a render rect. So we're going to have to copy this up to draw background. And then I'm going to have to do draw rectangle. Draw gradient rectangle actually is what I want. Maybe not. Maybe I just want to draw rect. I think it literally draws a rectangle, and what I actually want is draw texture model rec. Yeah, because that's actually UV with height. And what we're going to do is, let's go to the super real quick so I can copy some colors here, copy some code. We don't want container height, and we don't want container width. So we're going to draw this, so this will be X, Y, UV with height. So this needs to be GUI left, GUI top. I'm editing container base. Derp, derpy derp, derp 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 derp. This is what I want. And what we want to do is we want to go and we want to bind shared assets dot grade texture with alpha. And then we're going to have to figure out what our color is going to be. We want to do black. So we want to RGB black. Actually, what is our text render? Ooh. I have broketed the screen. How? I don't know. Oh, because we're full size screen. So our X size is going to be 100 and our Y size is going to be 10. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So this will be plus 10 and this is going to be 15. Really close. What we do is we want to basically render these underneath the buttons and stuff. So you have a pretty good understanding of where stuff is at. Okay, I need to bring this up a pixel. So the Y on here needs to be 14, and the Y down here needs to be 14. There we go. That's another reason I wanted to do this real quick, because I wanted to test to make sure this all fit properly. I'm going to up the spacing between these. That way it looks a little nicer. So right now we're doing 10. I'm going to say 12, which is going to add another quite a bit of pixel difference here. So this will be 12. And we're going to turn these all into variables probably, so that way they're cached and they're not being recalculated. And then we gotta switch. Oh no, I crashed. Why you crash? Unfortunate crash too. Apparently, this somehow. Oh, you know why this did what it did? I know exactly what this did with this. So this needs to be ID driven. And it's not. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to rerun. I'm not going to turn this stuff to variables right now. But our spacing is 12 between these. So that'll give us a little bit better handling, and this will let us draw rectangles and stuff if we want to. So we can do like a nice little white border between things. You know exactly what goes to what and how it's handled. And we'll do like a little matrixy thing to make kind of identify what's going on with each thing. So you notice we got those 4 buttons, and how it's going to work is you have all, not friendlies, hostiles, and neutrals is how all those tabs are going to work. And those will correspond to that enum we're using for our targeting system, and what they'll do is they'll send a packet to the server which will change your targeting specifications. And right now this is going to be a really simplistic targeting system, so it'll be like, hey, I want to target this or that. I'm not going to do a really complicated targeting system right now, so I'm not going to let you select sub-entities. That'll come later, because what that'll do is that'll be a additional tab underneath entities. So you'll select the entity tab and you'll select submenus. So it'll be some kind of submenu system. And we'll have to do a lot of work on that, because we'll have to start listing off what is considered a monster, what is considered projectiles, what is everything. So we'll have to start making a map of entities to type. That way when you go and you start looking at this, so if you got mob listed as one of your target types, there'll be a button next to that and you can go click and it'll show you subtypes, and then you can say yes or no on the subtypes you want to shoot. So if you don't want to shoot creepers or stuff, you don't want to shoot, say, ghast, because ghast might aggro and start to wail on your base. Because they will aggro on the turrets, or at least they're supposed to. Actually, you know what? I remembered I need to still fix the aggro mechanic. I think I mentioned in one of the videos I have to go either do one of 2 options: add an AI piece to the system so they'll attack it, or make the entity instance of entity living, which would work as well. So we open this up. Yeah, so here we go. It's almost encroaching on being on the player inventory. So we're going to drop the spacing by 1. So we're actually going to make 11, which I was thinking about doing originally. And we'll make this a variable here pretty soon. And that looks pretty good. So what we need to do is I need to up the box size to be... Well, actually, I'm going to actually leave it that way, because that way we got that little 1 pixel white space between everything. Now let's check to make sure this resizes. Yeah, that resizes pretty well. So we need to extend the length of that to go out that way. And we'll close that because we don't need that anymore. Go here. And say 140. That's too much. I want to bring it back about 20 to start with. Too little. Okay, we're going to bring it out to about 28. Oop, that's too far. Almost 31. Should have just went with 30. Looking pretty good, actually. Let's bring the text down 1 pixel and in 1 pixel. So that would be the text is down here. So we want to go 8, and we would go 15. There we go. That looks really, really nice. And now we just need to draw our little border box around that. Or actually, we'll kind of leave it how it is. Now we just simply got to determine what these are. And I may abandon my original ideal to just do plain buttons for these, and may actually go with icons for each one of these. Because the alternative is this tooltips. And I'll have to do a tooltip for each one of these. I gotta do tooltips anyway, so it's unavoidable on that one. But then we don't have to do everything here. Let's really quickly handle this. This would be GUI. And actually, this would be entity.type plus okay, we're gonna close this real quick. I gotta add an enum. Or not an enum, a list here. So private string no, we don't need to do it this way. So we got a scroll list. We just gotta complicated things. So math.min tile.get century data get allowed target types, so whichever one is the smaller of the two. It's the number of rows we actually have. Length yeah, that'll work. And then what we want to do is list off the target types. So we come down here and we got to get her some kind of scroll factor. So int index equals I plus scroll list. And then if index is less than length, okay, that's how we do the draw thing. And right now if we run this, almost everything is only going to have mobs in the list. Let's fix that. What is a target actual type thing? If we go down here and we get allowed damage types, it's used by the century. Oh, no, it's used by the, yeah, it's used by this, okay. Get allowed target types. Okay, that makes sense. I want the targeting system is what I'm looking for. So this, yeah, it's called player. So player, NPC, and living is what we need to add to the default list. And I'm going to reorder these so that way it looks a little better in the GUI when it renders. Try to get the longest to the shortest type thing going on. So we'll have 4 types in there by default. There's not really any other types in this. There's flying, which would be another type. I gotta check this real quick. Did I close it already? Guess we're not checking it then. Oh, it's us. There it is. Okay. So entity ghast, I do not believe is in the same category. It is an iMob, but it is entity flying. So we want to do a system here. There's not a lot of real ways around this. Just have to add a tab called flying. And we'll add another type. I'm just doing this mainly to get some extra types in the Sentry data here real quick. So that gets us 5. I want to get enough. We have a scroll bar. Animals, I guess, is another one we can do. I'm going to change this to players. NPCs, get a little different naming convention going here. Mobs, animals, flying, living, NPCs. So that gets us 6. That hits our maximum point. We still need one more to hit the scroll bar. Oh, there is an actual thing for entity animal. I was about to do entity ageable because I thought that was the prefab for all the animals. So it'd be key.animals. Make sure I'm using the same variable, even if I'm misspelling it. Make sure I use the same one. So we got animals in that list, and does that? What is that? We're at 6, so we got to invent another one here. What is woof? Tameable? Animal. So tameable. Pet, maybe? We're going to have to get more inventive with how this works. So it does, tameable has a weird thing here. So if entity instance of entity tameable has an owner system to it. So if we do the tameable thing, we're gonna have to do. I'm just gonna call this pets. I don't want to do this whole thing. Or no, yeah, we'll do tameable. And we'll just add some explanations of what each category is and maybe a manual or something. There's a better name for tameable. Domestic? The domestic falls on animals though. So you would have wild animals and you'd have domestic animals. Domestic would be like cows, sheep, wolves, cats. The problem is with this is the system is not designed for this. You have tameable creatures, which is horses, wolves, and donkeys. Actually, donkey is technically part of the horse class, and they're the same thing. They don't look any different. Actually, I don't think it's called a horse. I think it's called a mountable. I just sounded wrong when I said that. The reason we're on the scroll modifier here is that'll get us our actual index in the array. Yeah, we'll come back to this later. We're not even close to that stage yet. Right now, we just want to render things. And hopefully things don't crash. It takes a lot of work to do these GUIs. This is why, like, when people cry, it's like, why haven't you hit update yet? It's because it takes me a week to sometimes do things like this, just adding GUIs to tiles, doing really basic things. It takes time. It's not a fast process. I do hope to still get updated by the end of the month, though. That's the goal. I want to be updated to the latest version of Minecraft by the end of the summer. The unfortunate thing is I actually do go to school during the summer semester this year. It'll be my first year in a couple of years I've done that. I wish I could have done it every year because I would have had my degree by now, but the unfortunate scenario is money is a thing. Classes are expensive. It's like $2,000 a class. People wonder why college students are in debt, and you always get this thing from old timers. It's like, oh, I worked my way through college. Yeah, back then college was pretty cheap. Wages were pretty good. Jobs were highly available. Employers were not picky. If you had a heartbeat, you got employed. These days, it's like 7 years of experience plus a PhD in order to get a job. I'm overestimating, but most of the job offers I see, it's like bachelor's degree plus 8 years of experience, and that's entry level. Although I still get those interviews, though. Fortunately, I got an interview rather recently where I got chewed out for 20 minutes by one of their senior developers. So I passed all the interviews. The HR liked me. I was like one of their top candidates, and then some reason the senior developer didn't like me. Depressing stuff too, by the way. Didn't know there were so many ways to call somebody a shitty coder. I mean, I'm not the greatest coder in the world. I do admit this. This is the reason why I always go for entry-level positions and not higher-level positions. It's because I know my coding abilities are actually pretty limited. Okay, this is what we want. We just see that on that. Okay, if we go to this one, we get everything here. Now we got to implement the scroll button so we can see everything. So there, underneath mobs is NPCs, I believe. Yeah, NPCs. And these need to be translated. These will be translated into Volstaging, by the way, because they'll be reusable elsewhere. And we might change the color of this. I'm thinking like this gray color here. I'll have to figure out what the RGB of it is. Actually, you know what? I have an idea. If I just change this to white. Oh, didn't work. Why didn't that work? Float f equals 255f. Alright, this thing there. C.C.C. There we go. That'll work. That's a bit more pleasanter on the eyes than that pure black. I want to take a pixel off that edge there. So this will be, what, 29? That looks better. We'll take a pixel off the bottom too. Yeah, it looks really good now. Probably drop the spacing too. I'll deal with that later. That's stuff I need to tweak on my own where I'm not recording constantly. So what we want to do is I don't know what we got button clicks now to do because everything's scroll bar. That's what we'll do. So scroll bar was pretty easy to do. You go down to your action perform pretty much. And what are our scroll buttons? What are the IDs on them? We messed up the IDs. So this needs to be 11. This needs to be 12. The reason why this needs 11, 12 is our save ID is this. So come down here, else. This will be 11. This will be 12. And 11 is our scroll up. So I'm going to go if is greater than 0, then scroll target list minus minus. And then down here is we want to go if scroll list is less than what we're using for this here. So this right here. And this needs to be minus by 1 too. And this is plus plus. Okay, it's not implemented. We're implemented down here. Did I not reload the code maybe? No, so it's nothing to reload. Oh wait, our button IDs. I'm not getting the button of it. Why am I not getting the button of it? That's the minus button, which is button 12. Reload. I should get a button press down here. So let's do that real quick. I'm not getting the button ID here at all. It's because this is the wrong button ID. Okay. Hopefully we don't crash. Hey, it works. See, we move up and down now. So that's good. We just need to implement a scroll bar here, and we need to make these clickable, which we'll do in the next episode, or video. I don't know if I want to start calling these episodes. Either way, another video later.